voracious reader. I have been using that technique. I was using that technique that was taught in school, colleges. Like we would read the sentences, then we'll get the meaning of that. We'll move to next sentences. We'll get understand that sentences. Like we'll complete the paragraph after paragraph to complete the chapter. So mine drawback and limitation that I have encountered is most of the thing that we have studied might not retain in our memory. We may lose it sooner after reading it. While we are reading, pause at that moment and get back to the previous paragraph and try to recall it. Once you recall it, you will understand whether you have studied it or not. Okay, most of the time using this method, when you are recalling that previous paragraph, you will understand that we are not understanding exactly. That means we are losing the most part of it. We could only understand 20% of that. So because of this, I have a quest for a newer method of learning and reading. Okay. Other drawback is, so narrator has narrated the script or literature in a different manner. He uses a different vocabulary, all those things. But when we understand it, we use dictionary, we'll understand it. But we can't able to put those words in our day-to-day life. Even we know those meanings of complex words. So and so this is the main drawback of this system. So this made me to go for newer method or newer approach that can be scientific. So I made some of the observations in a day-to-day life. I have adopted those methods and I have framed the protocol for learning or reading. So first observation I have made is, whenever we are learning the motor skill, suppose when you are learning a Kalaripayattu or a martial arts or a dance, okay, the teacher or the master teaches the steps. After the steps, the student follows the steps, okay, as shown by the master, okay, step of the step. Once the complete circuit is complete, then the student has to perform entire set of sequences, steps of sequence of steps. Once it is performed, the students may may feel difficulty at the initial stages. As he moves further in a 2 or 3 trials, he may get that, he may accomplish successfully. So here the point is, what I'm telling is, the philosophy behind this is, whenever you want to learn something new, so you have to repeat or copy the thing exactly that is to be done. And next thing is visuals. Visuals play very important role in the memory retention. Whenever if you have watched the movie, let's say 2 years back, we can still remember the scenes of those movies, but not the audio. You can still remember the videos, moves, what happens in that movie. Even along with the help of the visuals, you can also remember up to certain extent the audio also. And so here visuals plays very important role. While if some conversations has occurred just 2 days back, we can't still remember exactly what they have stated. Suppose I am and my friend of mine were speaking 2 days back. We can't remember exactly what we spoke, but we know we spoke, but we exactly does not know what we were speaking about. We know what we were speaking about, but we does not know exactly what we spoke. We might have forgotten it. Okay, so here the brain visual memory retention is more than the auditory memory retention. So, okay, so keeping this in our mind, we can frame the protocols of studying or reading. Next thing is, imagine there is a visuals without the audio. Say in the past, like 10 or 15 years ago, you would get the Charlie Chaplin movies where there is no audio at all. You just have the scenes. So we see the scenes, you must have to understand what is happening there. Most of the time, with our own understanding, we would get the meaning of that movie. It might not be the exact meaning, but many different people different understand the movie in different ways. So therefore, visuals without the audio does not give clear meaning. So here is visuals should be attached or collaborated with the audio to give complete meaning about the subject. And this principle, visuals are important. Visuals without the audio is the scrap. You can't understand anything. Okay, you can understand here and there something, but visuals with the audio is needed. This is the second principle. First principle is repetition. Repeat after what you read. So repetition is very much required when you are learning something new. Second important thing is you have to have the visuals along with the audio. Okay, this is the second point. And third point is, whenever we look at the speakers who are speaking to the different audience, like millions of audience or 300 to 400 audience, whenever they are speaking, they get the image or visuals on their mind. They know exactly which way to speak. They know the mapping. They have the mapping in the brain. That means it is a indirectly, it is a visuals that is there in your brain. Using those visuals, they can able to speak without any interruptions, without any influence, without any cuts in between. Now, so using these three principles, we can frame the protocols for reading for more memory retention and better understanding. So first one is, so it goes like this, like how the in computer works. It takes the input, it processes, it gives the output. Same way the reading patterns or reading protocol also follows these procedures. Okay, it can also be like, when it comes to human beings, it is like stimulus taken by the brain and it understands, gives the response. So these are two processor, it involves in a single circuit. So it can be taken as a record the stuff, then understand it, then again you have to retrieve it. So this is a complete process of understanding a texture or literature. Now, using these techniques, I may frame the protocols. This is very much important, and I framed this. I took a month to frame this technique. Now I am using this technique effectively, efficiently, and I could remember the sentences and paragraph with least expenditure of energy and with pleasure. Okay, first thing is you have to read the sentences. So whenever you look at the book, just read the sentence, first sentences. That is recorded in our hippocampus, a part of our brain that records the what we read. We can able to repeat it without any struggle. If we can able to repeat it, so repeat it once again. So while you repeating it, so you have to think that you are stating that sentences. This is very important. So first step is we have to read the sentences and try to repeat it once again. Okay, it is not that difficult, it is very easy, as there is hippocampus that helps us to remember the past data that is spoken. So you read the sentences and you can able to repeat it. So while you repeating it, so repeat in such a way that you are stating it. Okay, so simultaneously next step comes. Next step is when you are repeating it by yourself, thinking that you are stating it. Okay, along with that you have to make a visuals of that. Suppose let's take in a script, there is an apple. Let's take I am eating the apple. Okay, that is the statement. First you repeat the statement, I am eating the apple. That is that you read it. Okay, now you have to repeat the sentences. Okay, like you are stating it, I am eating the apple. Okay, when you are stating it in a different rhythm, and along with that, while repeating it, you have to make a visuals of that. Get the apple, so you are eating the apple. Okay, so apple should come in front of that. So all the color of the apple, how it is, how you are eating, those visuals should come into your mind. Now what is happening here, you are reading it, you are repeating it. After repetition you are creating the visuals of that. Okay, now what is happening for the audio, a video is recorded, that is recorded in a hippocampus. Okay, now this is the recording part. As this is completed, so you carry out till the end of the paragraph. Once this is ended, now it is time to retrieve the data that you have collected. How do you retrieve it? Just first thing is you have to create a visuals, get the visuals of that, then audio will be automatically comes out. Okay, as we know that audio and video is taken in together. While we put out the video, audio automatically comes out. This is a technique. Okay, so this is complete process of learning the art of reading. Okay, like if you complete the sentence paragraph, try to retrieve it as many times as possible. How do you retrieve it? First thing is create a visual, get the visuals and try to get the audio. Okay, it is not that difficult, I have tried it. So get the video first. Once you get the visuals of that, automatically the audio come out as a collaboration with that. Now more times the fetching occurs, more the memory retentions, more the neurons interaction in the brain. Majorly the occipital brain, temporal brain and parietal brain are involved in this process. So as this increases, this activity increases, it might not be in a use one day, it might take 2 to 3 months to get easy for you to go through this method. While even I would say that whenever I was studying with this method, primarily I used like 20 to 15 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes to read a single sentences in this paragraph. Now I could read a paragraph with this method in just 4 to 5 minutes. In that small span, I can retrieve the data whenever I want it, exactly the way. So how do you retrieve it? First the video. Okay, whenever you retrieve the video, automatically the audio would come out. Okay, more the retrieve, more the memory retention, more the plasticity occurs in the brain. Okay, so now you have understood the method of learning the reading, different methods and different protocols. So I think you would all use this different approach of reading. Thank you.